Jim, do you have an update on Victor Robertson?
I do not. If they're going to take a closer look at him tomorrow, we'll find out more then.
Can we rule out his back?
I don't want to get into that at all. Yeah, I don't want to get into it at all. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Having to adjust so early on and manage 11 forwards, how do you think your forwards responded to the task at hand?
Well, they did a good job. We won the game, right? Anytime you win the game, you got to be careful. You did a pretty good job. What was difficult was we just came off a really tough stretch on the road. So that's not a night that you want to be down to 11 that quickly. So we tried to spread it around a little bit, and I thought everybody, dug in. Lots of minutes out of Q. Louis, lots of minutes. So, some guys up front really carried a little extra tonight.
What do you think you most fixed with this team to get them back on track in a short time of year?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say fixed. I'm going to just go back to what I said originally. We just had to get our mindset back. And I think we've gotten back to our identity a little bit, going back to work. And, tonight we got some great goaltending. That really helped as well. So, there's nothing I don't think that was fixed outside of just getting our confidence back a little bit and going back to work and getting some results because of it.
After the first TV timeout, was there any message that you gave the guys on the bench? It seemed like after that one, guys really settled down and kind of started going the other way.
No, not in particular. We started slow. We really did. We could see we were sluggish. We felt, we're a step behind here. And give them credit. They came to play. But I thought after that, I didn't say anything, Evie, but after that, we did start getting our game going a little bit and at least settled things down and kept them out of our end for a while.
This stretch of games after the All-Star break was statistically into the eye test seems like Dubois' best stretch in a Kings jersey. Is there anything that he's doing differently that you noticed that's allowed this kind of improvement from him?
Well, I think he's playing the game with more intensity, and that's, all over the ice. Defensively as well, and that goes hand in hand. So he's stepped up his game. There's no question. He's getting rewarded with some points. I like to see that. But I think just generally, overall, he's just increased his intensity level.
A few games ago, Jim Fox mentioned on the broadcast some kind of point system that you guys have put in place for PL. Is there anything you can kind of tell us about how that works?
Yeah, no, I won't get into that. Let's just say he's embraced it and he's doing a pretty good job with it.
On your successful challenge, were you going to challenge right away? Did you see it from the bench or get buzzed down from the...
No, that one got buzzed down again. That's Mike Buckley, our goalie coach, and Sammy in the back, getting a real good look at it. By the time we saw it, Sam already had flashes us that we got to challenge this one. But we felt pretty comfortable that it was interference on that one. But you just never know. We thought that Dewey's goal might stand, and it came back too.
We've heard terms like rover to describe a defenseman like Brian Clark. How would you describe his game in one word or just?
Yeah, well, he's a very talented player, and it's hard to play rover in the NHL, and it's really hard to play rover as a rookie in the NHL. So, we're trying to get the rover out of him. To be honest with you, we just need him to play a good, smart game, make elite plays when they're there, and not force anything. As he gets going and he gets in the league and establishes himself, he'll probably add a little bit more of that roving element. But for now, we just need good, solid hockey from him.
Is that pass on PL's first goal a good example of that? Just a heads-up read in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it was. That's not an easy pass. You got to have to hit the perfect angle, and the timing has to be right. And that's where you see that elite level offensive talent that he has. He delivered it, absolutely perfectly. So those are the plays we need him to make when he has the chance. We don't need him to force stuff that's not there.
You mentioned a slow start. The first period was pretty tight both ways. How important is it to have a guy like Q that can just create a goal out of nothing like that?
Oh, that was a beautiful goal, wasn't it? That really was. And with Q, he can really skate. So despite us not having legs as a team, we knew that Q's going to give us energy and skate. He always does that. He's just got incredible motor. So we knew we didn't know he was going to go through two guys and bury it on his backhand, but happy for him. You know what I mean? Here's a guy that took a little bit of flack early in his career and is just starting to get his legs going. He's got a tremendously bright future with the Kings, and we're all glad to be watching him grow in front of our eyes.
He said that might have been a play last season where he would get to the blue line, maybe dunk the puck. So to just see that change in effort, I guess, that's becoming more consistent with him, how much have you seen that grow?
Well, if I tie that back into what we talked about Clarkey, Q, as a young player, you just got to get out there and establish as a dependable player that works. Now, once you do that, then the coach gives you a little bit more freedom. You gain a little more confidence, and you think in that situation, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to use, an elite level of skill. I'm going to try it now. And, we saw the result. But that's a process.
Jim, a couple of games, Deneau's played more time on ice than Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Is that by design? Is it feel? How are you looking at those two with respect to the time on ice down the stretch?
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought there'd be about even tonight, but Phil got a little more on the penalty kill, I think. We're down. Normally we have 6 penalty killers. Jad's been penalty killing and doing a good job for us. We were down to 5, rolling through Louis, and then we got Kempe gets a penalty and Lewis gets a penalty. So Phil, as it turned out, was up first in that rotation. So I think you got a little bit more there. But there's nothing there by design.
One of your first practices as head coach, it looked like you were emphasizing speed going back into line change. Is that just one of the areas you've been looking to improve on?
Yeah, we did that drill, right? So I think you might have picked that up. Yeah, that's one area of emphasis for sure, particularly in the second period. The second period is structurally a different game just based on where the end zones are, and the line changes become extremely important. And so that was something that we thought we would, put an emphasis on, and we have.
Artie slotted back in for the second straight game. What did you make of his night?
I thought he had a good night. Again, I don't think anybody had great legs outside of maybe Q. Laugh a little bit. I think everybody else was not at a high pace, and so nobody really stood out for me that way outside of that. So our RV just Artie blended in, did his job, did what he had to do.
Good to see Talbot get the performance he has tonight.
That was, we needed that. We made, some mistakes that are hard to believe from the coaching perspective. Sometimes when you play as much as we have, you travel, you get some mental errors. We had those, and Talbot was just fantastic. He was fantastic.
Going back to Artie for a second, the season hasn't gone according to plan for him. What does he need to do now to kind of get it back on track and maybe establish himself in this lineup?
Well, it's somebody asked the same thing about PL. You have to be a pro, play the game with intensity, wait your turn, and when you get out there, you have to, make it happen for yourself. So no different than any other player. He's right there. He'll get his opportunity, and when he does, make good on it.
You mentioned the team just has to get back to its identity. What is the team's identity?
I think we're a team that checks. That's a frustrating team to play against because we're a committed team to playing defense, and then of course we've got enough skill to score goals. And sometimes you can lose your way a little bit, and the checking element is it's hard work. It's hard mentally and physically, and to do it right over and over again. So that's the challenge. Our guys, have done a tremendous job with that over the years. Won cups with that mentality, and so, we believe that that's the way you win in the end. And some nights you score goals, some nights you don't. But if you can check, you give yourself a good chance.
Jim, what does it say about your team that you're undefeated since that Buffalo game?
Well, we had a great response. That Buffalo game was a tough night for all involved, and you wonder what the response is going to be. And the response in Jersey, the first period we came to play, so we felt like, you know what, well, I don't know if we're going to win the game, but the guys are coming. They're going to play. They put that behind them, and I think they've kind of done that ever since, and they've just played, and it's worked out for us. But mostly the effort and the intensity and the checking have been back, which we're missing in Buffalo.